I'll start by adding 1¼ cups of lukewarm water, and that's about 37 degrees Celsius and 98 degrees Fahrenheit, which is less than boiling. Next, I'll sprinkle in the yeast. We'll let it stand until the yeast softens and forms a creamy foam, about 5 minutes. And if the yeast does not bloom at this point, it's not good. It's time to buy new yeast. A tip for the yeast: do not stir it, just let it sit there on its own. Sometimes it will take 5 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, like today in my kitchen, because it's super cold. So don't give up, but if it doesn't foam after that time, as I said, buy new yeast. Meanwhile, I'll beat 1 egg and 1 egg yolk. This egg yolk is very orange because it's pasteurized eggs. Next, we'll add in the egg and the egg yolk, the honey, and I'm using 1/4 cup. You can use up to 1/2 cup. I start feeling guilty after 1/4 cup, so I'm going to leave it at that. Use more if you desire. And 4 tablespoons of butter or oil, canola, vegetable, whatever oil you desire. If you're keeping kosher, eliminate the butter and use oil. Next, I'll mix it well to combine. I'll reserve 1/2 cup of flour. Set that aside. I'll mix in the salt with the flour. Try not to make a mess. Haste makes waste, which is exactly what's happening right now. I'll mix in the flour gradually. You can also sift it in to prevent any lumps. I smell the honey, it smells amazing. Use sugar as a substitute. Easy so far. Nothing too technical, too difficult. You're using a spoon. Just want to bring the dough together. The dough is still soft, slightly sticky, which is good, still manageable. Cleaning the sides of your bowl. You don't want to do too much scrubbing later on. And once it comes together, get your hand involved. Don't waste any flour. A little bit of the butter that's left. We did not use the extra 1/2 cup of flour, but if it gets too sticky at any point, we'll add it. Always good to start with a sticky dough instead of a dry dough. Right, so you see it's very sticky at this point. We'll add a little bit of that flour. That's like a tablespoon. Another tablespoon. We'll introduce it gradually. And knead. Bring it towards the center. Little sticky on the bottom there. Little sprinkling, a teaspoon. Set the timer. Hi Bixby. Set the timer for 8 minutes, please.
Timer for 8 minutes, starting now.
And we'll just repeat this for 8 minutes or until you get too tired, or until the dough is smooth. Sticky, Nice and soft. Push it down the center. Press. Nice gentle fold down the center. You can also remove it from the bowl and place it directly on your counter and knead. I still have, I would say, 4 tablespoons of flour, which I'm not going to use because this dough will get too dry. 2 minutes to go. Anytime it's too sticky, unmanageable, add a sprinkle of flour or some oil. Hang in there, we can do this. This is easy and fun. All you're doing is just rolling it in. Not rocket science and no difficult technique. And that's it, time's up. The dough is smooth and it's still soft. I'm going to place it in the bowl and cover it. Let's see how long it takes. The house is pretty cold, so it might take a little more than an hour. But if you live in a warm country, 1 hour should suffice. Fill this bowl really well. Place the flour in. Rub it around. You can warm your oven 200 degrees, open the door and place it in to expedite the proofing process. While that's proofing, I'll show you the version with sugar and olive oil, just to demonstrate the versatility of this recipe. And I'll also knead it in the food processor. I've mixed in the flour with the salt and I'll gradually add it to the wet ingredients. Here's the dough proofing on the door of the oven. The oven is off. I warmed it at 200 degrees. And now that it's not too hot, I'll place the dough inside of the oven. I've oiled my hand a little bit. Look at how the magic happens. A little bit of oil. That's it. Smooth, soft dough. I just need to make sure you can see that. See? Perfect. I'll place it in the bowl and I'll allow it to proof until doubled in size. Now we'll shape the dough. I'll remove the plastic that I put on to prevent it from crusting. And we'll press the dough down. If the dough is too soft at this point, knead it for a minute or two until it tightens. If it's too soft at this point, when you divide the dough into 3 in the next step, the braiding process will be very difficult and the logs will be overstretched. Now that the dough is firm enough, we'll divide it into 3 equal pieces. Sometimes I divide it into 1 large piece and 2 smaller pieces. I've divided into 3. Each one is about 12 ounces each. And then we'll roll into a log. Flour your hands and just pull it out. If it gets too soft, just make it into a ball and start over. You have to work very quickly or else it softens too much. You can double it or roll it back. And we'll join at the top. Pinch the seal. Just bring the outer into the middle, like that. And to make it into a tight braid, the outside in the middle. Just as if you would braid your hair. Squeeze it, tuck it under. Beautiful. Next, I'll transfer it to a tray. Cover it and allow it to rise a second time. And meanwhile, we'll preheat the oven, 350 degrees. Some people use 375. My oven is very old, so I do 350. And once this is doubled in size, we'll place it in the oven. And let me show you how to make the round bread. We'll turn out the second set that I needed. I'm just going to knead it a little bit so it's not as soft. This is a lovely soft dough. I'm going to divide it into 3. Roll each into a log. We'll cover it and allow it to proof. I totally forgot this was the dough that I wanted to show you how to make into a round bread. Just do that. It's that simple. Pinch the seal. Then we'll brush it and place it in the oven. In the oven it goes. And there it is in all its glory. Absolutely beautiful. Smells amazing. The house smells lovely and it smells delicious. So we're going to allow this to cool. You can brush butter on at this point if you want a softer crust. Some people like it a little crispy, crunchy on the outside. Some people like it soft. So butter if you want it soft or not. And the color and the gloss, the sheen is simply amazing. And surprisingly, the sesame seeds did not burn. You can mix butter with honey at this point and brush it on. It will be simply amazing. So now I'll just brush on some butter. I put the butter in the tray while the bread was still in the oven to warm it up a little bit. Melt it. And then and here I am, brushing the butter on. Smells so good, looks so delightful. And I am ready to eat bread, even though I just had lunch. And Leo is right behind me waiting for a piece. Right, Leo? Right? You want bread? So delicious. We'll try to wait until it cools. This is my bread, Leo. And I'm gonna eat my bread. let me give it a taste. I know Leo wants to taste it first, but so good. Amazing.